Here's a story, a lovely lady, and I met her at my son's football game. I didn't know that she was crazy. Now this psycho bitch won't stop stalking me. Meet Joe and Tawny, the couple who met after their sons played football together on the same team. The homie was sitting up there in the stands macking on this woman right here. His kid comes up to him after the game.
Dad, did you see my game-winning touchdown in the fourth? I hurdled like 3 guys and I stiff-arm a lineman at the goal line.
Now, Tanner, there's gonna be a time in your life when all you're interested in is another kind of score, son. Now go get me a beer out the cooler. I need something to drink on the ride home.
While coaching his son's football team, Joe Good was bowled over, not by the play, but by the pretty blonde on the sidelines, Tawny Blazejowski.
So these two were both recently divorced. Tony has 4 kids of her own, Joe has 2 to his name, and at first it was all a big mayonnaise paradise for these two, boozing it up on all you can drink cruises, watching their sons run into each other going head first, 15 plus miles per hour. You gotta love bonding over some brain damage, huh? That beautiful CTE. And it was all perfect for this amazing couple, and Joe had thought he'd finally found the one after his first failed marriage. But as you guys will see, Tommy is gonna prove to be quite the fatal attraction.
She's very passionate and enthusiastic in everything she does.
Were you ever in love with her?
Yeah, I was in love with her.
And so these two date for 2 whole years, and then Joe finally decides to pop the big question, asking Tommy to marry him. Everything seemed to be good for this recently engaged couple, but when Joe wasn't exactly sure about the date of the wedding, Tony absolutely freaked out on the guy. She actually developed a very short fuse over time, and her little temper tantrums actually got so bad that Joe decided to just call the whole engagement off. And he didn't know it, but he might as well have set off a Pearl Harbor-sized bomb on his life right then and there.
Immediately the phone rang. And she was, are you sure this is what you want? Because I got everything lined up that I'm going to ruin you.
Following that conversation, Tommy immediately decided to access his email account, change the password, and forwarded naked pictures of Joe on a recent vacation they had went on, his eggplants and all, to the CEOs of his company.
One of them features Joe in, well, happier times. We won't go any lower, but Tawny would.
That's some fucked up shit. And she wasn't done there, because next she sent out these packages to every single member of his company's board of directors, making it look like these had come from Joe, and inside the packages were things like condoms, lube, and even sex toys. This is one psychotic ass bitch right here. Everyone, please do yourself a favor and steer clear of women named Tommy. And so if all of that wasn't bad enough, Joe gets a knock on the door at 2 in the morning one night, and he opens up to a police officer ready with some hot accusations against this man right here.
He goes, Mr. Good, yeah, we'll step on out here. So you want to tell me what happened? You and your girlfriend have a little altercation tonight? I was like, what are you talking about? I've been here all night long.
And Tommy was actually so crazy that she basically beat herself up that night, drove to the sheriff's office acting extremely deranged like Joe had Ray Riced her ass, and he ended up having to spend the night in jail despite his alibi that he was home the entire time. And after this, Tommy received a protection order from the judge, which she actually used to get Joe thrown in jail for a second time. She did this by saying he was harassing her with phone calls and basically threatening her life. All this criminal mastermind had to do was use one of those spoof apps that makes it look like someone else has called you when they really haven't. She was making it look like he was calling her all day, from his cell phone to his home phone to even his work phone. This bitch was taking notes from the tranny that smashed Dwight Howard's 7-foot cheeks and decided to create a fake threatening voicemail using a voice manipulator.
I still have a gun. I know where you are, and I'm coming for you. I should have told you.
We now know it's probably Tawny digitally manipulating her voice. But back then, cops hadn't caught on yet, and they arrest Joe for a 3rd time. By now, his employer has had it. They fired Joe.
You're fired.
And so this guy's whole life has basically been destroyed at this point. To the public, he seems like not only a pervert who sent naked pictures of himself to the CEO and dildos to the board of directors, but this guy's also been convicted on 2 counts of assault against this white devil over here. And if you're sitting there thinking that that was fucked up, just wait till you hear the calls that she made to this abuse hotline.
There was allegations of him having sex with his daughter. He himself gets drunk. I think he is having sex with these young teenage girls because he's into child pornography.
Did that ever happen?
No.
So after claiming this guy basically was running a child porn ring, even that wasn't enough for Tommy to just ruin his life. Oh no, no, no. She started harassing everyone from his girlfriend to his co-workers to even his landlord.
Joe Good's new girlfriend, Mariella, reported an anonymous letter threatening her then 17-year-old daughter. Aaron.
This is what Erin will look like the next time Mariella sees her, if she sees or even talks to Joe Good one more time. And attached was a picture of a mutilated body.
And after the new girlfriend reported that creepy letter, they started keeping closer tabs on her at the police office. They sniffed down the track of that digital trail until they showed up at her house with some questions about phone calls made from her home. And they found 7 full spirals filled with hundreds of pages of incriminating evidence against Tommy. They had her whole plan right there in writing. She was very detailed. In the words of the great DJ Khaled, "You played yourself, bitch."
Reminders: print naked pic, call self 1,000,000 times, even get picture of decomposed corpse. March 11th, filed police report on Joe. March 28th, made report of child abuse. On the margins, the haunting word, done.
So finally, after all this time, they arrested this dumb cunt Tommy, and she really had what was coming to her. 8 different felonies from all the threats and deception. They try and claim that she had bipolar disorder and play the white crazy person card, but the judge said, "Fuck your white privilege, bitch. I'm white too. 9 years in jail for you, including the 2 years of house arrest and 19 years of probation you're also facing."
There were some things that were not yet crossed off. Do you think if she hadn't been arrested, she would have kept going?
I'm sure she would have.
It's changed us forever as far as investigators.
And that's good and all, but it still doesn't change the fact that this man lost his 6-figure job and now is seen as a public threat and can literally only get a job doing lawn work. In my opinion, she should have got locked up for at least 15 years. She should have to pay this man a lot in damages. I mean, she was literally accusing multiple people of having sex with children. That's not just a little accusation. So y'all need to be careful where you're putting your genitals, my people. There's some crazy motherfuckers out there who don't need to be continuing their bloodstreams. But I do want to thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a huge like. I always work really hard for you guys, and I really appreciate that. I can't lie to you guys, I'm really feeling like I'm gonna kick some ass this week with the videos, so stay tuned. I hope you like this dope shit. Go talk to me on my social medias at JAMARI Speaks. We can have a good conversation. Peace out.
In Holland, I live in Miami, a feeling for a lot of Dutch chillin'. We're pumping no villains. County line road, I was round all them killings. Me and my parkway, acknowledge my ceiling. Ever since 7, I knew I was gifted. Started with niggas who care for the vision. Shit ain't come easy, man, nothing was given. Went separate ways, now we back for the finish. Florida man, laugh from the benches. We shook off the jokes, disregarded the mentions. Y'all focus on headlines and made up a star. Still come vacation.